Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Smite Draft League Week 1. And we have the Divine Division game here. I'm Deelo, joined by Ztan. Ztan, man. Divine Division, special place in your heart. How we feeling?
Feeling pretty good today, brother. Feeling pretty good. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Uh, Stormcallers, one of the least picked teams on the staff. We did the poll or what have you at the beginning as far as power rankings. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they fall, versus the predictions. Sunbreakers were almost unanimously the most picked. So they're gonna have a lot to live up to here.
It's very true. And I'm putting it on the record here because I know Chiron's been talking up a storm about the fact that we're on a revenge arc. No one had faith in us, and we're going to prove them all wrong. Chiron, Stormcallers, I swear, I meant to choose Stormcallers all 3 divisions, and I'm staking it here too. I'm looking for a Stormcallers dynasty the same way that Sunbreakers had in Season 2. But will that come to pass? Only one way to find out as we get into the P's and B's. Some standard stuff here on each side with the Marty and the Ravana.
Yeah, Marty's a pretty good ban all around. Ravana, this latest patch, they did kind of nerf him. The shield went from like 9% to 8. Not really sure how much of a difference maker that's going to be. He's probably still absurdly strong. Get it out of there.
And we've even seen Chiron put that god to work during the Smite game stream that was featured a scrim with Stormcallers versus Flourish and Divine. And Chiron did a fantastic job proving a distraction, in fact, with the tankiness that Ravana provides, and was able to, in fact, ensure a victory for the team by just drawing away 3 members of the opposition while the rest took Titans. So definitely an interesting thing that Stormcallers is banning that one out. Maybe just a bit worried that Sunbreakers will take it for themselves. Rounding out the bans here, we're going to have the Kuzenbo, Chunga, and on the opposite side, jungle threats being taken off the board, Thor and Kali.
That's got to be a target ban, right?
I mean, definitely a possibility, but I don't know. These are all pretty generic that I've seen, and they've certainly been putting a lot of pressure on Chunga. I will say I've not seen a target ban for in a while, so that's an interesting one.
But on the first
they're
pick.
not going to be dissuaded. Going to be Morgan Le Fay first pick.
Okay. All right. God offers great damage, great burst, decent self-peel, a lot of displacement. I like it.
Solid start, and damage is going to be the continued call here. Stormcallers going to be bringing on the Rama.
Now, we had a conversation while we were, getting ready for the cast and everything, about the new Silver Branch buff, what some of these hunters might look like. I'm real excited to see how Rama's going to do here.
Yeah, I mean, the attack speed's you were educating me. I can't even act all like, oh, high and mighty, I'm so knowledgeable, but it's thanks to the knowledge download from Ztan that Rama, certainly one of the main beneficiaries of that change here. Terra, now looking on the defense side here, what are our thoughts on that dual lane?
That dual lane is going to be insane pressure. Absolutely insane pressure. Rama's already got great wave clear. Terra's early, the level 1 and the 2. Kind of sucks, but once you hit that 3, once you hit that mark, her contribution to the lane is insane. Great clear, great lockdown, great peel. That duo is going to be cracked.
And great obstacles too, but it seems Sunbreakers looking to maybe mitigate that a little bit there. The Ganesha pick going to remove all those obstacles, in fact, and coupled with your Sun Wukong, their front line is locked.
I do really like the Ganesh pick here. Ganesh is just one of those supports that, like, there's never a scenario where you're just like, yeah, that sucks. Ganesh Ganesh is always good. His kit is so good. There's almost no scenario where he doesn't bring a lot to a team. Really like that pick.
It's safe, and because of exactly what you said, the fact that it kind of is always a good thing, it keeps your cards a bit closer to your chest for the rest of your draft, making Stormcallers have to guess what do we need on the team still to not only make our squad more effective, but also to stifle out some of the options of the opposition. So, good job there on the Sunbreakers remaining ambiguous but effective with their draft. Some extra bans coming on the board here, Susano and Thoth.
I think the Toph is a really, really good ban, especially considering their mid lane. That matchup would be really rough for Morgan Le Fay. He outranges her at every turn. The Baba Yaga, kind of same deal. Baba's extremely strong right now. Susano, Ao Kuang locked in over for the other side. Just two very good, very rotational jungles. They just don't want to see it. I like
I
it.
mean, each side has clearly made it apparent what they don't want to see. On the side of Sunbreakers, they're looking all towards the mid lane. Stormcallers have their priority set on locking out some good jungle options, and they're going to lock in their own. Naja going to be Stormcallers jungle.
Yeah, I hadn't even noticed that until you brought it up. Stormcallers did, in fact, knock out 5 jungles. Although, Thor Ravana, you could
argue
make an argument for solo. If
Correct.
you're Rage more, you could make an argument for the Ao Kuang. But that is definitely 5 excellent jungle picks.
And now they're off the board, stricken down. Naja going to be able to bring a bit of cohesion, but also brings a bit of ambiguity to your team fight because it can be a bit difficult when to time those windfire wheels in conjunction with your team. I always say it, PEMDAS, you have to make sure your timing and the order of those operations come through. And now I'm upset because there's a Hachiman on the board. But
here is the matchup we were talking about wanting to see. I want to see how Rama. Hachi's just strong, man. Ever since they made that shift with his passive and the buff to the 1, Hachi has just kind of dominated the other hunters. They nerfed the 1 down a little bit, but he's still so good. He's got great escape. He's almost impossible to gank. He's got a stun. He's got a stem. Like he's good. But I want to see how Rama does into this. I want to see if my man's going to build some Silver Branch.
It's exactly what you said. The fact that gods such as Rama, such as Apollo, with those built-in attack speed sims, have a bit more of a chance against the Hachiman. But now what we're going to be seeing instead is a Loki on the team for Sunbreakers going to round out their comp. Where do you think that's coming from, buddy?
It's I'm going to be real with you. It's been a while since I have seen a Loki locked in a comp game. It's definitely been a while. And it's not even that Loki's in this just terrible place. That there's just so many other jungle gods that do everything better than he does. Loki's good when played effectively. So we're gonna have to see how he does with it. I really like that Merlin lock in.
The Merlin, Merlin's just been solid forever, It's just always going to be good. But what are our thoughts on the matchup versus the Morgan Le Fay specifically?
Well, as long as he manages to stay away from that Morgan 1, I'm not even going to go into the other effects of the 1 because the mini Hun Bat's ult is really all anyone uses.
The fear's rough.
As long as he can manage to kind of stay away from that and keep his beads up, this Naja and the Terra should have the lockdown and the setup for Merlin to just get some cooking done.
It's going to be some evasive tactics, and like you said, holding on to your relics is certainly going to be important. So on the side of Sunbreakers, hopefully going to be seeing Darknms trying to put those sigil masteries on top of Merlin's head to burn those beads quick and set up your Loki for success, because you do want that god to be farmed.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very big point for Stormcallers going into this match, especially for the Rama, the Naja, the Merlin. Going into Loki, going into a couple of these picks here, beads are going to be the penultimate point of, do I live this engagement or am I on a gray screen?
Yes, we're going to be keeping an eye on those timers, but want to be keeping an eye on the time for the game too much longer. We'll be right back with Game 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome on back. First game here between the Sunbreakers and Stormcallers in the Divine Division, week 1 of the season. I'm Deelo, once again joined here by Ztan, And just comp for comp, Ztan, man, how we feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Feeling a little weird, actually, now that I'm noticing there's a war flag sitting on that Ganesha.
Interesting. What are the thoughts on, like, maybe the logic behind that unconventional start?
I don't know. You know, maybe he's looking to help his Hachi with the clear here. You know, Rama's gonna have really kind of have a clear advantage going into the matchup. So like maybe you're thinking to get a little extra attack speed, help out with that clear. But it's not a relic that I've seen used a lot.
It could be exactly what you said earlier, the fact that Terra's levels 1 and 2 are really weak, so trying to take advantage of that brief period where you have the leg up before things start to get a bit out of control. Maybe if you can swing one early kill for yourself or just get pressure that they never can recover from, Sunbreakers stand to be in a better spot in the duo lane.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the early pressure there is going to be what you're kind of trying to go for, because once... Oh,
that's some pressure right there. Darknms going to not even need to burn the beads there, but burn the life of the mid laner. Huntor gonna go down.
Yeah, and, you know, Huntor did keep his beads there. I don't know if it would have helped him. You know, we didn't quite get panned over to the fight in time to see exactly what happened. It's possible that he was just, you know, he knew he was dead.
This could be an issue, though. Stormcallers looking for the counter rotation. Not going to be able to quite find much. But now you found another jungle for yourself. And Virtually and Voltcha just going to change some blows here. But the supports have now made the rotation on over. The carries are deciding to stick to the farming game. But it's just a lot of dancing around the shield camp. It doesn't seem that the aggression is going to be put onto the gods quite yet. But there's a nice stun. Solid damage. And this shield camp will go down. Sunbreakers and Stormcallers just going to call this one even.
Yeah, we're about to see what happens when the Terra's got her kit up, and you know it's really going to make the difference in this lane here for Rama.
Yeah, this is looking to be trouble because now Voltcha's rejoined the fight with the shield camp on your side too. Sash gonna miss the mark on NoboFish. That might have been the crucial detail you needed. Dracull is going to dash to the safety of tower. Virtually's made the rotation back over. Gonna go for a cheeky blink, in fact. Thought it was gonna be the engagement onto the ones that were in the jungle. Not gonna be the case. Virtually putting a kill onto Voltcha. Fantastic work. I thought the rotation was a bit late, but seems that it came just in time.
No, he knew his kill threshold there. You know, he didn't have much of a prayer fighting into like the you know, the Terra, the Rama. He went straight for it, got the kill. Good job.
And that's just going to continue to do what we mentioned earlier. It's going to guarantee Sunbreakers a bit less pressure in this dual lane that, as you mentioned, had inherently gained that pressure. And in fact, it also does another goal of the Sunbreakers, which is feeding up Virtually early. Not what you want to see 3 minutes in with 2 kills on the side of the Sunbreakers.
Yeah, a Loki from ahead can be a terrifying thing. You know, he gets a couple of levels up, and you know, a squishy doesn't have relics, and you're in one-shot territory after a couple of items. So they're definitely going to need to keep an eye on this Loki, and you know, maybe look to get this man shut down before things get out of hand.
Shield buff seems to be target of aggressions once again. Both supports looking a bit worse for wear. Earth and Fear going to be expended. Could be some trouble. The dash is going to find the stun, but GettinCawky is going to find the kill. Dracull will fall there.
Yep, great use of the Terra ult there for the extra burst damage. You know, Ganesh was still level 4. He had no option to drop that Dharmic Pillars. Terra and Rama knew it, and they dropped everything they had on him. Great call.
It was just well done play there Virtually. Trying to get a bit cheeky here in the jungle. And now sneaking up behind Voltcha. And you mentioned it earlier, the fact that relics are so important. The fact that the kill was put onto Voltcha was actually really smart targeting here by Virtually. And now that they have their ultimates, noticing the fact that the Naja does not have the beads is one of the few squishies without it. So that's going to be a key target for you potentially on Virtually, because Naja, beyond the Windfire Wheels, does not have a really great natural escape.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, even the Windfire Wheels, it is going to give you the CC immunity. You can use it to get away if there's nothing in your way. Otherwise, you know, if there's something in your way, you're going to go up into the air and come right back down into danger. So it's not the greatest of escapes in the first place. That that lack of beads may come back to bite my man.
We have to see, because he's got the blink, which means he needs to be playmaking a bit more. So hopefully going to see some success on the side of Voltcha there in future engagements. But the engagement here is happening by the blue buff. Solid pressure there, but Sunbreakers seems they might be able to secure it. Walking back in, she was trying to deny that. Not going to be the case. Dracull going to alleviate that pressure and guarantee Sunbreakers grab their blue.
Yeah, I really like that rotation there from Sunbreakers. You know, the blue buff was being pressured. And what did you see? You saw 4 members of Sunbreakers over in the vicinity to make sure that that blue got confirmed. Great job there. That's how you stop people from trying to get a lead.
And that's what they got to try to do at this point. Stormcallers have put themselves on the board, only 500 gold down. My question to you, Ztan, we're still very much in the early stages of the game. What power spikes are we looking at where each team has to maybe be a bit more on their toes?
Well, you know, from the Stormcaller side, Rama, Merlin, they're going to do a lot more kind of in the late game.
Of course.
You know, Merlin's going to need 4, 5 items. Rama's going to need several. Hachi's kind of in the same boat. The difference maker there is going to be Morgan Le Fay. Morgan is going to have a good bit more damage to bring to that in the early phase, not to mention her kit itself. So for me, I'm looking for this Loki to kind of push this lead, and I'm looking for Sunbreakers to start making some engagements and fighting around that Morgan. Because it's going to be a while, I think, before Merlin can really, truly keep up.
I mean, the amount of vision placed around the map by the Sunbreakers, that might be exactly their intentions, to try to get the feed on where everyone is located. But, Stormcaller is trying to put the aggression right now onto Dracull. Going to be the blink there from Voltcha, but what will come of it? Most damaging ability in the game, placed down there on top of Dracull's head. But with the 4-man collapse, can't do much but watch. GettinCawky gonna find the second kill there onto the same target. Dracull goes down.
Yeah, not much to analyze about that. Ganesh caught in between 4 red bodies. It was just an unfortunate positioning for Ganesh there.
Yeah, despite the vision, didn't quite end up working out for you in the end. Virtually trying to maybe put a counter kill here in the solo lane side. Has some solid damage. Here comes the Assassinate. Going to be able to find it with the Flurry Slash. Virtually picks up their second kill on this Loki. So on either side of the lane, action's going down.
Yeah, Loki's got the Soul Eater built. You know, the second item he's going into there, I would almost have to assume it's a Hydra's. You know, once he gets both of those items online, he's getting a good bit of power from the Soul Eater. That Hydra's is going to make, you know, the passive from that's going to make his autos really start swinging. Once Loki gets that Hydra's completed, he's going to be a force.
And like you said, Darknms on the Morgan Le Fay is also going to have some power spikes later, but is already pretty potent here in the early game. So should Sunbreakers be playing more around that 3v3 core in the mid lane?
It's definitely a possibility. Now, you know, we don't know what they've talked about in scrims. We don't know what they've practiced with. We don't know kind of what their game plan is here, but that would definitely be my game plan. If we're taking a pick like this Morgan Le Fay into a Merlin, I'm not trying to wait to trade blows with him at 30 minutes. I'm trying to get that out now.
At the very least, they are maintaining a slight level lead. Merlin only just reaching level 10, while Morgan Le Fay had that already on their side. So you're right, they're doing something with it, but maybe not quite enough. But it must be said here, you know, it's past scouting grounds, but it is still week 1 of the regular season. Synergies still needs to be formed. So of course, when we talk about, you know, what might be going on behind the scenes, there hasn't been necessarily quite the development period for it to reach that that late stage where everyone's kind of jiving and vibing well with each other and understanding each other's game plans inside and out. Solo lane here, I just want to call attention to this. It's been very, very low-key beyond that one low-key gank that happened earlier. Just in terms of late game impact when they start rotating. Uh-oh, hold on, might have to hold that thought. Darknms gonna take the consuming power. Within the pillars, Voltcha gonna be brought down by Virtually. That's a killing spree there for the Loki. Dracull gonna be finding their third death though at the same time. Gonna be able to retreat to the safety of the tower thanks to the mid laner's protection. Solid kill there put on by Sunbreakers. But yeah, returning to what I was asking you there, my friend. Solo lane, when it comes to the rotations from the Shiva and the Sun Wukong, who do you think is going to be having the bigger impact?
That's definitely, I'm definitely going to have to call Shiva. I just think Shiva is the better team fight god. You know, between his mobility, between the outright damage, between the ult, I think he brings a lot more to a team fight than Sun Wukong does.
Mm-hmm.
However, a lot of that can also be said to be kind of down to the player. It's going to be up to how those solo laners choose to engage.
That's a very good point. And, you know, when you have the Loki putting aggression on your side, it kind of takes that answer and makes it very easy on the side of the Sunbreakers. Hopefully Stormcallers is going to do maybe some... Or, sorry, on the side of Stormcallers, as that was their gank. Oh, no, actually, no, it was Loki. I am bugging right now. Sunbreakers gank, but Stormcallers hopefully going to find an answer to put that aggression back up. But you're absolutely right that the Shiva can definitely do mega loads of damage, currently sitting pretty at the top of the damage charts, in fact. As we see some action over here in the dual lane. Do we think that 11 minutes in, you know, slight gold lead for Sunbreakers, do we try to push this with an objective, or do we stick to the farm game?
I think right now that they're kind of waiting on this beacon. It is what it seems like to me. They're waiting on this beacon to spawn. I imagine they're going to group for it, try and fight over it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if Sunbreakers can bait Stormcallers into a bad fight here, you kill 1, 2, maybe 3 people, even just one, then you get the beacon and gold starts becoming an option. Although it doesn't look like Stormcallers are even going to contest the beacon.
It looks like they might just be trying to go for virtually instead. Loki looking to be in quite a bit of trouble. The blind might help you out there, but the sash is going to deny the escape. Voltcha going to pick up the kill on it virtually. Phoenix has made the rotation over, but in the midst of 4, this could be troublesome. Bull form to get yourself to safety. Now Dracull is the next target. Pillars expended, but the dash to safety. Only the support paying too much mind. Here's a solo laner, but the Ohm going to deny you a bit of the ability to put down the damage on a Dracull, and a nice Sigil Mastery to fear the support's way to safety. It's going to be a bit of a nothing burger. I believe, yeah, indeed. It's going to still stand there on the... Oh, no, the beacon was actually taken there by order, I believe.
Sunbreakers got the beacon, but lost virtually. Not the worst trade in the world in my mind.
Hopefully not going to lose more here with NoboFish, but I think the third snipe, even if it landed, wouldn't have quite taken him out. Bit of scrapping here, but oh, Dracull once again under pressure. Brought down a low, imagining the kill will follow shortly. Gonna be OLKxHardKiller. Indeed gonna be able to find the hard kill. Virtually gonna put it back onto Voltcha. A bit of revenge there for you. And now Huntor just trying to get the pressure off of their support. NoboFish, meanwhile, has put the revenge back for the snipe. Says, I didn't really appreciate that, my friend. GettinCawky will be taken out. Virtually just trying to extend this, trying to make an inch and take a mile, but not going to be able to quite find enough damage onto the Terra to grab that one.
I would like to note, Loki's second item turned out to be Transcendence, not Hydras.
That's true. Late stacking.
It's a little late, but you know, you're kind of at a point now where games are pretty typically going, you know, past 25 minutes. So I don't think a second item trans is too much to worry about there. You're going to get it stacked. There shouldn't be any real concern about that.
I mean, and it's not like Virtually has not been doing fantastic damage, and those kills are going to guarantee you some more stacks as well. So, doing solid work there. 14 minutes in. Gold lead still maintaining on Sunbreaker's side. XP, same story. NoboFish under a bit of pressure here, but knowing this player, and I know that you, especially Ztan, know this player, NoboFish has got no problem with aggression in his lane.
No, he's pretty used to it. You know, there were 4 members of Stormcallers kind of gravitating over towards that left side, and now they're moving back towards the Pyro. I think Sunbreakers, I think that was more of a test there.
Uh-oh, I think they might have failed that test. Virtually going to take a quick trip to the skies, land in the midst of the Terra walls. Fantastic combo, but the assassination not going to be enough. Excellent work. I believe that might have been the Earth and Fury, perchance. The tick damage there off of the Merlin. I'm not even sure what killed him, but nonetheless, Huntor going to find it onto Virtually. Fantastic coordination by the Stormcallers.
Yep, excellent pick there. You know, we were talking earlier about Loki kind of starting to get a bit of a lead. You know, definitely need to make sure that you keep the Loki in check. That is just not a god that you want running rampant. I am kind of surprised that Stormcallers. I think I would have liked to have seen them pull Pyro there.
Hmm. I mean,
Uh,
there's a numbers advantage. Maybe there's a
you
bit
know,
of
yeah,
afraid
you
of...
had 3-4 members in the area. Vert
Yeah.
was dead. I definitely think that's a bit of a missed opportunity there for a Pyro call.
Oh, this is some solid damage being put on Easy Zeus's head. Could be in a bit of trouble, but gonna be able to get away thanks to the dance, you know. Just doing a little 4-step back to the tower, gonna provide some safety. It really has been just quite uneventful, but they seem both happy to farm it up until they hit essentially level 20, and then those big solo rotations happen. But like you said, the fact that Shiva just naturally has a bit more teamfight impact, you'd kind of hope that the Sun Wukong would be putting a bit more pressure on.
Yeah. Now that's going to be a horrific emblem expended here.
This could be troublesome. Virtually's in the back, gonna be popping invis, and the pillars will be up as well. And that means they're down for the rest of the fight here. Shiva's joined the battle. Nice Sigil Mastery to put some more damage onto Easy Zeus, but the snipes? No, it was actually Merlin who managed to secure the last hit there. Onto Virtually, NoboFish gonna find a kill onto Easy Zeus. Dracull likely gonna be the next one to follow. Elephant's been trophy hunted by GettinCawky and rotating around the Gold Fear, but that's not the one they have their intents on. Darknms gonna fall as well. That makes 3 down on the side of Sunbreakers. Nobo might be following. I know you're used to aggression in your lane, buddy, but this might be a bit too much for you to handle. Triple kill there for GettinCawky. 4 down on the side of Sunbreakers for 1 on Stormcallers.
Yeah, if I'm Stormcallers here, this has to be a gold call. You know, there's no way that we're getting that many kills in the jungle, that much pressure, and not taking an objective here. Good call. I love to see that. They could honestly just kind of walk over to Pyro.
They have the ability to. They have a bit of an open board with NoboFish down for another 7 seconds. I think Stormcaller's MO is to play things safe, take these small victories, and make a big victory from it. And you saw from the golden XP charts there, Stormcallers looking at the board here 17 minutes in. Story's changed. Sunbreakers are down 2 kills. And also the gold lead is negligent at this point. In fact, it's slightly in the way of Stormcallers. So they've done a fantastic job reversing the tides when Sunbreakers had been dominating up to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And with gods like Rama, Merlin, you know, the longer this game goes, the better it gets for you.
Very true.
You know, all of the hunters really do much better damage in the late game with 5-6 items. You know, Merlin does crazy damage at full build. He's already putting out a good bit just with this ethereal. Ethereal, by the way, is, you know, kind of the go-to mid item here now, and I'm here for it. I really like what it's doing.
What is the logic behind that one then, Ztan? What is it providing for these mid laners that makes it such a desirable item? A couple of viewers at home and me.
You know, mid is a role that can feel kind of underwhelming right now, with the power nerfs and everything else. And ethereal is an item that, in addition to giving power and some damage, it physically takes health and mana from the opponent and gives it to you. So it's like having a free, you know, Soul Reaver proc that's almost permanent for several seconds, and it's being built on so many of these mids now.
Could certainly be a boon during this Pyromancer fight. Once again, attention off the Pyromancer at this point. Most damaging abilities in the game have been dropped, but who's inside of it? No one really. Phoenix gonna use it just for some heal for yourself. NoboFish caught up, caught down, dropped to the fountain. Dracull's gonna be next once again. Easy Zeus gonna fall thanks to Darknms, who needs to rejoin the fight at this point. Consuming power's been expended. Not quite. Actually does still have that in your pocket. Could be very useful. Good damage put there on a Voltcha, and the staff sweep will pull it off, as well as Virtually's damage there. Phoenix gonna keep on the pressure, but at this point, with OLKxHardKiller, very, very low. Can't really do too much at this point if they decide to go for the Pyro. Sunbreakers, though, opting to just farm the lane a little bit more.
I think Rama's going to try and take the Phoenix.
Oh, hold on. You're right. Wow, that entire time GettinCawky, making sure to put a presence on and force the teleport, I think, off the Wukong. Very unfortunate there that it seems that Stormcallers, despite having a bit of a loss there in the fight, they still managed to put something back on, and Sunbreakers didn't even grab the objective they had their eyes set on. Virtually going to try to grab the kill there off the blink, but the flicker to match. And that's just going to be unfortunate. That's just more wasted time there for the Sunbreakers.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that call from GettinCawky there. You know,
Yeah.
he went down the lane, and I mean, sure, it turned into nothing, but you got the Wukong to teleport to you, because the option was either teleport to you or potentially lose the bird, and he walks away free.
Fantastic play. And now Stormcallers might be the ones grabbing this Pyro. Not too much awareness from the Sunbreakers. And that would really just spell a complete W for that engagement. Indeed, they will. Stormcallers gonna firmly set the gold lead in their favor, as well as XP. It's really looking like a different story than prior. And with beads on Naja now, it's gonna be far safer for Voltcha to engage.
Yeah, Voltcha is going to be in a lot better spot now that those beads are available.
What is GettinCawky doing over here? Get up to pre-beads the assassination. Rolling Assault just 1v2ing, taking a lot of damage. Each one will take to the sky, show off their party trick. Trying to find the snipes on the Loki, but he's invis. Could be brought down right now. Egg is going to have to be expended to get rid of the bull form, but GettinCawky, getting very cocky for your name. It makes sense for your buddy. Gonna take down virtually, though, before he goes down himself. Can you get the double? Not quite. Phoenix gonna bring down the Rom, who was just temporarily moonlighting as a solo laner. Fantastic play.
Allow me to tell you, what was he doing? That man was cooking.
That was insane. I mean, he's got the name for a reason, right?
Look, if that Ganesh does not show up, like if that third player does not show up, I feel like both of them die.
That is not a good omen for your team. If that's going to be happening for you, it's the natural qualm of a Loki player, you know? At a certain point in the game, things slip through your fingers if you don't maintain the farm lead. And unfortunately, just maybe one death too many on the Loki. And again, with more relics on the table, you naturally are going to have a harder time. You have to find your role in the team fight. Seems like a small one going over here. OLKxHardKiller put in between some pillars, but laughable damage for the Terra.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a miscommunication between, you know, your support and your mid laner there, because if Morgan Le Fay had dropped her abilities on top of that Dharmic pillars, I think you're actually looking at some pretty decent kill potential there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, she kind of peeled off to go to the wave. We do have a fight breaking out, though.
Virtually gonna once again put on the assassinate, but the flicker to match from Huntor gonna keep them safe. Brought up, brought back down. Darknms gonna have to use the Aegis, but will the dance moves get him? He's gonna boogie woogie woogie his way to a kill. Zeus gonna find Darknms. Double dash to try to find the Hunter as well. NoboFish getting sniped out from long range. One more would have done it. GettinCawky, unfortunately, didn't have the shots. Gonna turn his attention to virtually instead. This 1v2 is familiar and it's going the same way. Will you have Dracull to help you this time? GettinCawky gonna have to suffice with the single kill. It's a 2-for-2 trade-off either way.
That Rama is putting out some pretty insane damage right now.
Yes.
And you know, they're taking the Primal Fury here. SWK might try to contest it.
They will not be able to quite get it though. Sunbreakers not able to get the steal. Stormcallers will secure another Fury and just further deepen the divot that Sunbreakers need to work their way out of.
I'm going to be very interested to see what Rama builds here for his last item. You know, he's got that Death's Toll, and I know a lot of carries have kind of been selling off the starter item. I would kind of like to see him sell that off for a Silver Branch here. I mean, he's already putting out crazy numbers that would do nothing but increase them. I would kind of like to see the Silver Branch here.
I mean, even without that element of the ROM that we talked about that gives them a bit of an
Oh, he's doing it.
Oh, look at that! C2 pants on for Ztan. Congrats. Claps, claps, claps. Ztan knows what he is talking about. Stygian Beacon, gonna be up. Sunbreakers trying to ascertain a bit of the objective pressure that they lost here. But Stormcallers, they're gonna answer it with a cheeky FG. Would be a bit insane given the ward presence there. And after capturing that, Binds of Tartarus are no more. And the pressure on the Fire Giant also no more. Stormcallers gonna have to drop that one off. Uh-oh. Virtually could be in some trouble here.
Oh no, Vert. Get away from that thing.
Look at rolling. He's just trying to find it, but actually misses that. Assassinate gonna be pre-beads there again by GettinCawky, who has the download on what the Loki wants to do. Overall, though, a lot of resources expended by the ROM. Will it be made worthwhile? Voltcha gonna take down virtually. That's going to be a bit of an issue here for Sunbreakers if they want to maintain the pressure in this team fight. Blink engage on a NoboFish. Gonna have to use the bees as well as the ultimate to ensure your safety. Dracull putting up the Ohm, just trying to stall pressure. Fire Giants join the fight now as well. Titan's been unleashed. Phoenix sitting up in a cloud, contemplating what to do next. Just gonna have to retreat to the safety of the rest of your squad. Sunbreakers down 1. Stormcallers might be looking at the FG next.
Yeah, you know, Sunbreakers got really split up in that fight. Oh, okay.
They might get split in half. Nobo just getting collapsed on, destroyed. Huntor gonna find Dracull. The duo lane's been dominated. Phoenix the next target. No cloud to sit on, buddy. Why don't you go reflect in the fountain instead? GettinCawky gonna take him out with the snipes. Darknms, the only one remaining on the side of Sunbreakers, does have consuming power, but what will you decide to do with that power? With great power comes great responsibility, after all, Ztan.
Now this FG call is on the side of ballsy. You know, there's a couple of low health bars there. Zeus is gonna have to do he is doing an excellent job zoning though.
And that's going to be an FG guaranteed for the Stormcallers, and that gives Easy Zeus a bit of an out to this fight, hopefully. Uh-oh, the dance moves might not be enough, my friend. You're not looking too good there. Virtually gonna find the kill on the Shiva before retreating back. Zoning duty's done well, but maybe you got a bit too comfortable in the front line, my friend. Titan's gonna be falling next there. Stormcallers have a bit to work with when it comes to this giant siege juggernaut, but they might not decide to use it.
Yeah, that zone from Zeus was actually super important there to that fire pull. You know, there were some kind of low health bars on the side of Stormcallers, and the last thing you need is for MLF to run in there and start free casting.
Yeah.
So great zoning job from Zeus there, even though he did end up kind of trading his life for it. That's all right.
Be up in 13 seconds. You still have a lot of the power play to work with here.
Sure, and you've got fire on your Naja, you've got it on your Rama, you've got it on your Merlin. That's what matters. It's not Shiva in there whacking those towers.
That being said, I don't know, man. Top player damage, it might be like the one to look at, but nonetheless, we also want to give due credit to GettinCawky, who's certainly been impactful. 27 minutes into the game here. You can see the charts have certainly shifted sides. Stormcallers with a dominant 5,000 gold lead, 8k XP difference. They've really turned things around. What do we think's been the key part of this shift?
A lot of this, I would say, is kind of on GettinCawky and this Rama here. Rama's damage output has been crazy impactful in these fights. You know, the addition of that Silver Branch and the Fire Giant buff, it's just going to be more.
You have a couple things to take down too. Tier 2 towers, you're gonna have to imagine, are falling pretty soon thanks to the ROM as well.
Oh yeah. You know, I don't know if Stormcallers actually got any of the beacon buffs, but you know, as strong as this Rama is right now, and with the addition of the Silver Branch, they may not need them.
Yeah.
These towers are going to go down pretty quick, I'd like to think.
But Sunbreakers are looking to put up a staunch defense for this tower siege here. The question is, who on the Stormcallers is there to initiate? You have the blink engage from Voltcha. Let's see if that is indeed the way to go. Brought up into the sky is Dracull. Brought down in the midst of 3, but they have their attention on Phoenix. The front line's been decimated in terms of health. OLKxHardKiller gonna take down the Monkey King. Bit of tower damage online. The pillars have been dropped, but so has the solo laner of Sunbreakers. Dracull looking mighty low as well. Needs to take a bit of a dive back in the fountain. Tier 2 tower might just have to be an abandoned cause. Darknms trying to step up, but putting some damage on Easy Zeus. Tier 2 tower will fall. Sunbreakers made a bit of a show there, but unfortunately wasn't quite enough for an encore.
Yeah, you kind of just have to give up these towers now if you're Sunbreakers. You know, Phoenix is dead. Dracull's Dharmic pillars are down. You have nothing left to defend that with.
Yeah, and at this point, they're just going to be looking to extend that, rotating on over to the solo lane to push up with these waves. And that seems to... Voltcha is their reliable initiation, and they haven't found on Sunbreakers the tools to combat that initiation. Right there, the sash. What can you do about it? Just has to bead. Despite being amidst 3, Voltcha's been an immense threat ever since the mid-game picked up. And they're not looking to stop right now. Charging in, the pillars are already back up. Gonna be dropped back in the midst of the tower, but they don't really seem to care. Taken into the sky? Who's even there? It's gonna be NoboFish. Gonna have to expend both relics to ensure safety. Phoenix taking up to the cloud once again, dropped low quickly, but the somersault gonna find virtually is GettinCawky. Phoenix is trying to do what damage he can, but realizing it's just not enough in comparison to the Shiva, who's taken to the front lines. Gonna be dropping a bit thanks to the Phoenix. The snipes are on board, and my god, they're doing work. Voltcha gonna set up the kill there on a silver platter, and Phoenix gonna find the counter. They're all looking low on the Stormcallers. They might need to call this one a day. 2 down on the side of Sunbreakers. Stormcallers have lost their jungler, but they've shown that this formula of just let Naja initiate is just a complete win condition.
Absolutely, and you know, I like the call to back off there. It's not worth throwing your life at the Phoenix when you're about to have EFG coming up. You know, they got what they came for. All of the towers are down. You back, you spend your gold, you come back, you take this EFG, and you hopefully push down the Phoenixes, even try and end the game. Like, they're in a great spot here.
I mean, and what an amount of gold that there is to spend. Stormcaller is now leading by 10k. And look at the player damage charts. Terra, haven't gotten to talk enough about OLKxHardKiller, despite the few kills that they put on the board, but doing work. You mentioned the pressure that she provides, and that god's putting on that pressure with dividends. Only one to really match it on the side of Sunbreakers has been Sun Wukong's damage. And that's just because Phoenix is so willing to dive into the midst of the Stormcallers, but oftentimes at the cost of his own life.
Yeah, you know, the Terra hard killer stat line here, you know, he's running 3-0-16. He is at full build. I would like to note his last item is Divine Ruin.
That's going to be really useful there. Oh, also, I just realized I'm bugging. Terra's not... I don't know what sounds like. That must have been gold. I'm bugging. Player damage Terra's sitting at the actual bottom, but nonetheless is putting in the work. Embarrassing. But what's not going to be embarrassing is when Stormcallers grabs this EFG. 32 minutes, that's the swing point they need. But Easy Zeus, always so willing to be on the front line, but oftentimes at the cost of your own health bar, you need to be careful. Dance has already been expended. Voltcha's really low. Ult's been expended there too. Hunter just trying to put on what damage they can. But Phoenix looking a bit worse for wear at the same time. NoboFish going to chase down the kill on a Shiva. Voltcha trying to escape, but caught out by the dragon. Morgan Le Fay going to pick that one up. Snipes not good this time. Did Phoenix expend a relic? Who knows? All I know is that GettinCawky's going home hungry. Sunbreakers in the meantime trying to split push down. This is the Loki that I'm familiar with. Trying to get down this left side. Phoenix had to recall for that one. Could be in a bit of trouble. Is virtually gonna have to expend the beads and invisibility, but caught between the midst of two. This might not be a successful escape. The heist, will it be complete? Payday 2. You've indeed succeeded that one. Get some damage off on the left side, Phoenix, but it will still stand.
Yeah, it was an attempt. You know, you got to do something, and that is something that Loki is exceptional at. He's been a split pusher for years. You know, no sense in not trying it.
But with EFG on the side of Stormcallers, this is looking risky to even think about engaging on the Oni Fury, and they come up very soon. Zeus and Voltcha are both down, must be said. But nonetheless, the longer you stall this one out, the more trouble belies you. Especially
I'm not sure I love this.
This is troublesome. They're teleporting in. We got wards aplenty. Phoenix has rejoined the fight, but Stormcallers are poising to be aggressive here. And Zeus once again leading the charge. I just hope to see a bit more conservation of the health bar there, because the Shiva's valuable. You need to keep them in the fights a little bit longer, and you stand a far better chance. Oni Fury being picked up here. 3rd health. Phoenix going to engage onto Zeus. Might just be the first target. Oni Fury going to drop, and someone else going to go up. I didn't see who got taken up into the train, but Voltcha's going to have full health and distract long enough for Virtual to be taken out by the rest of the team. NoboFish going to put the counter kill onto Easy Zeus, but the other solo laner will fall as well, thanks to the Rom. Could be troublesome if Sunbreakers decide to stick around, but they are rooted there by the back end by GettinCawky. Double kill on the Rom. Could be a triple kill there by the Rom. Will he get it? Snipes to the sky, looking for the last shots that he needs. Not gonna find it. Rolling a soul for it. It's gonna be stolen by Huntor. A bit of that lack of synergy there. You can imagine GettinCawky might be a bit salty on that one, but nonetheless, the results speak for themselves. Sunbreakers got decided.
Yeah, you've still got EFG on Rama here. Middle Phoenix absolutely goes down. You know, if Naja can keep the health pool up, I don't know if you end here.
But This could be it. They have 20 seconds, 14
Maybe.
before Berkeley's up, and that is by no means going to be an issue for the Stormcallers. Knock, knock, knocking at death's door is the Titan. Stormcallers are the ones providing. That's going to be game 1 for them. Bro, let's talk about that victory animation. That's why. I mean, I want to see it. I want to see like the dynasty because I love the name and the merch, but also that animation. My God, thank you, Nublet.
All right, yeah, you might have made a believer out of me here. That animation was sick. I like that a lot. I like that a hell of a lot, man.
Well, you know what we also like a lot? Their gameplay. That stuff was clean. Talk to me about what happened this game, Ztan.
So, Rama. I'll say it again. Rama. 34K towards the end of that game. You know, they almost, Sunbreakers almost started to kind of turn that fight, and GettinCawky looped around the side and just wiped him.
Yeah.
If I am Sunbreakers here, you know, we maybe play around with the idea of not letting Kawky have Rama. You know, with the Silver Branch kind of buff, Rama might just be stronger. Or maybe that is just one of Kawky's gods.
Yeah.
You know, either way, maybe we look to keep him off that. Solo did a good job of diving, but he couldn't really confirm anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe we look to pull a solo with a little more team fight presence than a Sun Wukong. Terra, by the way, another pick that like maybe we don't give them. Maybe we look to kind of take that away too, because the team fight presence from a Terra is, as was felt in that game, absurd.
I mean, I honestly think we might need to take away the Naja as well. That thing was troublesome. It was their lead initiation. Yes, the Terra was great for being the support cast, but as far as when it comes to starting off the fight, it was Blink and Sash initiations thanks to Voltcha, which were fantastic, setting players up on a silver platter. On the reverse side, it's like we mentioned earlier. Sadly, the Loki, you know, you have a hard time finding your role in the fights. What do I do now that it's 5v5 format? A lot of times, assassinations were beads, Aegis, flickered away. And you just didn't really see much but relic burning. And by the time the opportunity struck again, those relics came back up. It's just, I'd like to see, in my opinion, the jungler of Sunbreakers on a bit more of an impactful god when it comes to those 5v5s.
I definitely agree with you, Deelo. Really would like to see almost anything other than Loki.
Yeah. And that's not just Loki hate, I promise. It's because like virtually was putting it in good work at the beginning stages of the game, but it's just the fact that naturally, Loki falls off, and you don't want to see that.
Absolutely. So, you know, all right, Kuzenbo. Fair enough.
It's a scary thing as well. I mean,
fair
Terra has
enough.
Similar MO,
yeah.
Play up in your face, do damage, support. I get it.
Yeah, Kuzenbo is terrifying right now. You know, you're gonna go back to the Ravana ban too. There we do.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do see the Naja.
Yeah.
And that's a totally fair call.
I think it's so smart, honestly.
You
Respect
know,
your enemies,
the Blink Sash
mm-hmm.
is just a guaranteed beads or massive amount of damage.
And, yeah. You just gotta make it more difficult for your team to find an easy flowchart to how to handle this fight. Because the flowchart was so simple. It always just began with, is Sash up? Is Blink up? Yes, we fight. We win. That's how it would always go. And if you eliminate those options, make it a bit more ambiguous, leave more room for the comms to get tangled up maybe. If you don't have one easy answer, things get a bit scrambled. Hopefully, Sunbreakers can put to work their own comp strategy as well to ensure that their victory is not solely reliant on Stormcallers bungling it up.
Absolutely. Going to be interested to see what we get for the first pick here.
That's smart. That's smart. It's exactly what we said, though, right? It's by some means take it off the board. You took off the Naja, you took off the Rom. I think those were the two primary threats, and now they are firmly either in Sunbreakers' hands or just not there entirely.
Yeah, and like Rama as a off roll carry myself, been playing for years. Rama is in every carry's god pool.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that you ask, do you play Rama? The answer is yes. Everyone knows how to play Rama. Take it away from him, man. Don't let that man do that again.
Mm-hmm. What does that leave Stormcallers with? It's the Freaky Friday switch up. We have, in this case, I guess, GettinCawky. Well, I'm going to say it a million times, but it's so easy. GettinCawky is feeling himself and says, I can do it better in this case. I can handle the Rom matchup, and maybe being in that dominant position game one understands what needs to be done differently to ensure that he as the Hachiman does not slip to the wayside.
Yeah, they are letting HardKiller go back to back on this Terra. Now they locked it before I could bring it up.
Go on, tell me why the Odin's a great pick, though.
That is an option to kind of shut this down a little bit.
Yeah,
Terra can't get out of there. That anti-heal's huge. Hachi can't get out of it either.
It's a solid pick. It's showing your hand a bit early, though, must be said, because now Stormcallers with the remaining 3 picks can decide what to do to ensure their safety from the cage.
I agree, but I would kind of counter that with the point that, like, you're not looking for Odin to dominate the solo lane.
That's true.
He's not going to. There's almost no god matchup where Odin wins. You're playing this for the team fight anyway. Maybe they want to save their jungle pick. You already know Odin's probably going to lose lane. Why not save the pick?
The only issue that I will say, you're correct, though, that they are certain, and I like that. Sunbreakers is changing their ways, because we talked about how the Loki was not team fight minded enough. Now it is. We talked about the Sun Wukong. Didn't bring as much pressure as the Shiva. This does. So we're seeing some changes, but my issue is exactly this. Stormcallers going to counter with the Bastet, can easily nullify some of the threat that Odin brings.
Sure, absolutely. But I still love it. I absolutely love it.
Sure.
You're looking to shut out this Terra Hachi. They were kind of your problematic duo. Out of those team fights, and they've got a great chance to kind of lock this down here and push this to a game 3 if they can work some of these ultimates right.
Stormcallers is feeling themselves right now, and you can tell because they have the exact same ban lineup as before, I'm pretty sure. That has not changed one bit. They're showing the fact that we can handle whatever you throw at us. And you know what? After the gameplay, they started off, like we said, on the back foot and did not let that deter them from the victory. So Stormcallers have reason to feel good.
Hey, I'm not going to say anything about the bans being the same. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Bingo.
It worked. You won't hear me say a word until it stops working.
Big facts. But this is something that's being fixed up now. And Artio,
interesting,
being banned out. It's a lot of their prior comp that they had to change up. What are our thoughts on the Artio matchup?
I think it is the height of confidence to take Artio into an Odin matchup.
Yeah.
That is ballsy.
You have no escape from the cage there either. But maybe just going to try to rely on jungle rotations or just your own pressure to nullify that fact. On the mean side, Sunbreakers with a double mage lock-in. This is going to be fun. Baba Yaga and Poseidon. Ztan, talk to me. What's the theory behind this?
That's massive. That's real big. So if that Poseidon is played correctly.
In the jungle, I'd imagine,
that
right?
whirlpool, I have to assume that Poseidon is jungle. Absolutely. Okay. If that Poseidon is played correctly, 4 out of 5 members of Stormcallers get absolutely fried by that whirlpool.
Yeah.
That cripple is going to be atrocious to fight into. That is a massive lock-in here for Sunbreakers.
And that punishes you too. So, you go the shell, okay. You have the shell, but maybe you have a leap to get out of the cage. I cripple you, now you're not getting out of the cage. It's fantastic. This is like poker they're playing right now. They've made it seem like they had that Stormcallers knew their entire hand, and then they do something to counter the counter. Poseidon's cripples are going to prevent you from doing the thing you want to do, which is flee the cage. Can no longer do that if you got no movement abilities on your side. I love this draft from the Sunbreakers. But what do they need to watch out for to ensure their success?
Beads. Beads is what they need to watch out for.
Yes. Same thing as last time, in fact. So hopefully going to be a bit more successful when it comes to burning relics. But let's see if the story will change this time. Game 2, Sunbreakers versus Stormcallers. We'll see you right there. Hello, everyone, and welcome on back to the SDL. Sunbreakers versus Stormcallers, Game 2. Sunbreakers with a bit of an unconventional comp, trying to regain some of the dominance that they lost in Game 1. Ztan, man, how we feeling?
I am feeling much better now that I am seeing the Poseidon skin for the first time in a couple of years.
That's true. Missed that thing.
Love that skin. Absolutely love it. Nothing better than bringing a giant rubber ducky to the battlefield.
You know, whacking it with a pool noodle. I mean, it's hot in my room right now, so I feel a bit cooler to just, just watching that go down. But it's going to be interesting to see. We talked about the fact that in Game 1, virtually had an easy, good start, but then fell to the wayside. Poseidon obviously has a much better team fight presence than the Loki, and can certainly bring the pain during all stages of the game once that ultimate is available. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this Poseidon is piloted.
Yeah, I definitely think that Vert's play here is going to kind of be the difference maker for the Sunbreakers roster, because if Vert is doing what he needs to be doing, it is going to be near impossible for Stormcallers to fight.
Oh my god, damage! We talked about how Odin loses lane, but he says who? Who says Odin loses lane? Phoenix putting the pressure onto Zeus, but more pressure being put in the dual lane. What are our thoughts on just the dual lane matchup this time around? We have a Hachi as well as a Terra being changed up here from the Rom with the Athena.
Well, I think it's going to be kind of the same story, although maybe not. Voltcha's making a rotation in.
I mean, just a little bit of poke damage to maybe ensure yourself the shield buff, some safe farm for yourself. But I like that. This happened as well in Game 1. Early pressure was afforded to the dual lane, and it seems that it's going to be the same story here. Stormcaller is going to lock down that early shield buff. Ooh, maybe some trouble they're getting cocky. Please be careful. So, resume what you're saying, my friend. So, is the story that Stormcallers just have some nice early pressure here in the dual lane? Because it seems like GettinCawky is the one in pressure.
Well, once Terra hits that level 3, like we talked about in the last game, almost any duo lane that Terra is in post level 3, Terra just kind of out pressures. That the 3 in the dash, it is a massive area. Provides excellent clear, great damage. It's hard to fight into.
And they have to do their best then to try to nullify that as a factor. So then, as the jungler, maybe on the side of the Sunbreakers, do we decide to afford more pressure to the dual lane like we did in Game 1, or do we do what we're doing now, which is just paying attention to the solo side?
Well, Bastat's going to have a hard time kind of rotating into these fights with Poseidon there. She does have the beads, but that's going to be a one-off. So you're going to be able to beads and dip once. And that Kraken and Whirlpool is going to be up a lot more often than your beads. So, more often than not, I think Bastat's going to struggle to engage a bit here. So I'm really going to be looking for
Huntor, home sweet home. Not feeling cozy though. Feeling in fact, a bit too warm with the fireballs just raining down on your head. Will the tick damage be it? Death's Grasp just going to lock you in place to admire your handiwork for a little bit. Virtually going to grab the first blood.
That's what we're looking for. That is what we're looking for out of Virtually. Looking for this pressure. Bastat ult.
Trying to be returned back. Solid skill shot there. The blast off going to guarantee you a bit of space, and with the Virtually patrolling, could be in some trouble, but low on mana, low on life. This could be a big issue. Gonna be able to pick up that kill. Nicely done there by Voltcha to never let the pressure go despite the presence of 2 people. Was not dissuaded in the slightest. And that's just the unfortunate case of a squishy, immobile mage being the jungle. You're gonna get caught lacking.
Era is not having the effect I was thinking she would have over in this lane.
No. This could be troublesome. Oh, the Quacken been used a bit as a false positive there. Cage, though, gonna lock in the kitty cat. That's gonna be a domesticated one shortly. Virtually gonna bring down the pain and bring it to a double. Oh, well, not double, but 2 kills on the side of Poseidon there. And that's just who you wanted on, the difference maker that we were talking about. And Phoenix with the rotation was able to ensure that. Fantastic job there by the solo laner.
So it's looking like I'm kind of having to eat my words here. Phoenix is frying on this Odin.
Yes, dude. Oh my god.
Did they buff this god when I, was like out sick, or what's happening here?
Phoenix has been training from, the school of Heavy War Crier and is now going to be putting a kill onto this RDO. Not quite the lunge, just a bit off the mark. Athena joins the party a bit late, but Poseidon says, hey, anyone can be in the pool party. Terra says, can I have him? And does indeed join, gonna alleviate that pressure there. Surprisingly, Zeus will actually survive. Just a bit of a misplaced lunge there, just as we were gassing you up there, my friend. Come on. But yeah, I think Phoenix genuinely is channeling a bit of Heavy War Crier at this point, because this Odin is looking impactful, and they're only level 7.
Yeah, me and Heavy have played a good bit together, and yeah, some of that man's solo picks kind of go hard.
Oh yeah.
But I am definitely loving the Phoenix Odin. He's actually almost kind of winning lane against the RDO, and it's blowing my mind. ADC matchups looking pretty even here. Maybe a tiny bit of an XP differential. Gonna be interested to see how the lane plays out from the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to kind of tell us a lot about what was going on with the ADCs last game.
Yeah.
Now that the roles are kind of reversed a bit.
Very good point. And I mean, speaking of roles, and in this case, them not being reversed, Sunbreakers, once again, 6 minutes in with a slight gold lead here, about 1,000. But this is a position that Stormcallers are familiar with. They came back from it last time with the quickness, so going to be looking for that to happen again on their side. We didn't get to talk too much, actually, in fact, about Huntor on this Persephone. What does she bring to the table for the side of Stormcallers?
I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan of the Persephone pick right now.
Oh, I think virtually agrees with you. Gonna drop a Kraken and a wave on top of your head, but not quite find the kill. Continue, my friend.
Persephone just doesn't... There's so many better mages. Her ult does afford you some good CC and zoning ability.
Mm-hmm.
She does hit very hard when built, but I don't know, man. Her performance to me as a mid main just hasn't really felt on par with a lot of the other mages. So I'm going to be interested to see how Huntor plays it.
Phoenix might need to play this situation a bit more safely, but the crippling field going to provide a bit of trouble. Center of Olympus going to counter that one, give you some nice mitigations, as well as a friend to boot. Hey, Dracull, welcome to the solo lane. Going to be arguing a little bit over this cooldown buff. Nice damage there, dropped on your head. The crippling field, bead's going to be key, but the leap was not there, and virtually going to send Voltcha down to the grave. Fantastic work. Despite having the relic in your pocket, now she's been burned for no reason. The life has been lost as well. Blue buff might be next.
Yeah, and, that beads being down...
Huge.
On the Bastet, beads are down on the Persephone. This is kind of your point where you might start to talk about maybe going to beta fight at gold.
Oh, this could be a big fight there. Nice job there by NoboFish, evading the dash stun. Just needs one more shot. Not going to be able to find it, and the rolling assault's been expended. This kill is declared forfeit, but must be said, fantastic play by Nobo, aggressively stepping forward to avoid the dash stun off GettinCawky. Great play on both sides. Voltcha might be lurking to get that sweep up kill, but doesn't want to play Janitor quite yet. Just going to opt for the shield buff instead.
Yeah, you know, like we were getting at a minute ago, if I'm Sunbreakers here, we've got these major relics down. This is where I kind of want to start to look to fight, because with those relics down, Stormcallers can't fight into Poseidon.
You're right.
You know, by the time Beacon comes up, these relics are going to be up. So, you know, no problem there. We do have a double taunt in mid.
Tools with Dracull to beads burn so easily. So it's really going to spell trouble. I just love the cohesive nature of Sunbreaker's comp. And like we were talking about with Persephone maybe, Stormcallers just doesn't quite feel like they have as maybe blended a vision. It's just a lot of gods that can do damage and get some decent CC, but I don't see an easy flowchart of how do we initiate, how do we kill someone and bring them from 100 to 0.
Well, you know, the story for Stormcallers here on the Engage, it's gonna be the RDO Bastet combo. That's what you're gonna have to play off of. But the problem is that if Poseidon is alive, that Engage gets stuffed.
Yeah. It's just such a fantastic counter comp that Sunbreakers have built for themselves. The other problem is that it's a cat and a bear, and they have a cage just for that. It really is countered on all levels here, because they're just going to put you right in a zoo. Just say, don't feed the animals, because they don't want to feed them any kills. And so far, Sunbreakers are obliging, have only lost one. Virtually coming in for the rotation. Nice blink! Gonna find the kill on the Huntor with the amazing Quackin'. Fantastic work by Poseidon, just once again doing their job.
Yeah, they're getting the you know, the I can't remember what those things are called. I blasted
Talk to me.
the things in front of the towers. The things.
The baskets. Yeah, they're getting
There
them all
we
right.
go. I wanted to call them beacons, and I couldn't
quite.
English for a second there.
I
appreciate it, Deelo. I appreciate that.
you got it, man.
You know, if I'm Sunbreakers here, we've got the pressure. And I was just about to say it, and they're pulling it. That Gold Fury.
And that's going to be a bit of an issue if they manage to secure it. Could secure 4 of the lead, but nice there. Mounted Archery might be able to get a kill there. Stormcallers gonna be able to grab the Fury. Huntor gonna find a kill. GettinCawky gonna return on a Dracull. Unfortunately, this is looking to be a complete rout. Virtually brought down in the midst of them as well. Huntor with the double kill. Persephone's contributing now. Says, eat your words, Ztan. And that's a huge swing in the favor of Stormcallers, who were starting to maybe get things away from them. This is fantastic play from them.
Yeah. Sunbreakers were definitely starting to build up a lead there, and as we can see from the graphs,
it's the same story as last time.
It goes up, and then it dives off a cliff.
This is the remaster. They're just literally reduxing the exact story. We've let Sunbreakers get into a false sense of security, build the lead. It's to a T, but this time Stormcaller is reversing one aspect. They get the beacon.
Yep, Stormcallers got the gold. They got the beacon. They got 3 kills. That gold lead has been completely annihilated. There is no gold lead. It's 200 gold. You know, a couple awards. Like, from where they were sitting at 2.5 minutes ago to right now, they have completely turned this around once again.
Yeah, and that's like another thing. Not even just the gold leads non-existent now, but I think the mental game, talking about that, it feels frustrating when you feel like you're doing everything right to start, and now it's happening again, that things start to slip away from us. Like, what do we need to do differently? This could be troublesome. Might need to do this initiation differently, Izus. Could be in some trouble there, buddy. Gonna be brought down by the Quackin'. Sunbreakers trying to re-ascertain their hand on the wheel by grabbing a nice cheeky kill in the solo lane.
Yeah, I mean, as a longtime player, there is nothing more mentally taxing and degrading than making the right calls, making the right decisions, and having it constantly go wrong.
Yep. And oh no, I think that was beads expended there by Voltcha once again, despite not even having the Quackin' on your side. And when Virtually has that up, you got a firm target to place that in the back of the head of in Voltcha. Phoenix just gonna retreat back to safety. It's only OLKxHardKiller, so you're gonna be safe there. But Sunbreakers, at least with that kill in solo lane, they get back a little bit of their mental. But like you said, man, it's got to be frustrating to lose that first big objective when everything was going your way prior.
Yeah, I mean the one kind of sub point to that objective pull for Sunbreakers was that, Baba does not have great secure,
Yeah.
and without that Kraken on the field,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really have any secure either, so you're kind of opting to 50-50 it.
That's true.
And, on the back end of that fight, Vert had no mana. There was just really nothing for them to do there, and they tried to 50-50 that gold and just came out on the worst end of it. Persephone's ulting, though.
Death's Grasp only going to serve to just keep Dracull in place for a little bit longer. And that's unfortunate. Relics were both expended on the Persephone as well. Keep an eye on those timers. Cage been dropped. Gonna be keeping them inside for a little bit longer, but not too much. OLKxHardKiller is going to have to retreat on the back end. Snipes up to boot. Earth and Fear to try to get yourself out, but the Kraken's back up, and double kills up for Virtually. Fantastic work by the Sunbreakers, and GettinCawky just going to have to ride into the sunset to ensure your own safety, but they're still on the prowl. Don't go farming, buddy. What are you thinking? You still have Virtually lurking, my friend. This could be troublesome. Taunt to match Shirley in just one moment. Brought down. Your hubris, your farm. It's all going to be going against you. Voltcha's trying to split push here in the meantime. And actually will maybe succeed in grabbing this tower alongside Izu, so at least you get something to your name.
Vert is doing everything you could possibly ask out of your Poseidon jungle. He's playing this extremely well.
Great to see.
And even with Stormcallers kind of making that turnaround, I think a lot of your pressure and the reason that the game is still so close is because of this Poseidon right now.
Ooh, that was a good Death's Grasp there. Locks Dracull in place for a bit longer, and it's a four-man collapse. Decides to go for the easy target. Doesn't quite, makes it to the sky, but denies your entry into the country. Got caught out by customs there. Athena goes down. Fury might be next. That's a risky call. Didn't you learn from the Sunbreakers? Maybe don't go for that one. Izu's a bit too far on the front line, just like in game one. Please make your way out. The Whirlpool's down, so you're not going to worry about the cripple, but the cage, Bear's going to be locked in. Don't feed the animals, feed the team instead. Sunbreaker's going to oblige, Virtually going to pick up Izu's.
Yeah, that is super unfortunate. And, kind of part of the reason why I questioned the choice of the RDO, after Odin had been locked on the board.
Yeah.
Especially with the addition of that Poseidon. What does she do? She gets caught in the jungle there, and her options are die.
Yeah. Bears don't belong in the jungle. They belong in the forest. Everyone knows that. Phoenix trying to play zoning duty for this Primal Fury, but OLKxHardKiller's already made it to the front line, so you've kind of failed at that job. Aggressive lunge. Could just maybe deny yourself an escape option. Stormcallers going to grab another Fury for themselves. Gotta feel frustrating. This is familiar. GettinCawky gonna take out Dracull. Locked in between many. Voltcha gonna take out Darknms. It's a complete rout, a complete steal. Sunbreakers feeling the pain.
All right, so new plan for Sunbreakers here.
Stop taking objectives.
And, no. It's make sure that at least 60% of Stormcallers is dead before we take objectives. You obviously, it's twice now.
This could be huge. Hold on a second. Quacking gonna be dropped down, but they had already disengaged from the Pyro beforehand. Snipes are being poured into the back to try to save your jungler. Virtually will indeed survive, but Phoenix now caught out in the midst of them. Didn't get the invite or the memo that they were on a retreat, and now NoboFish is gonna try to make up for it with some solid pressure. One more basic will do it, but the Aegis, will it save him? Not quite. Cage drop for Phoenix just to ensure the kill. On to GettinCawky, and they will oblige. Nice taunt by Dracull. Rejoin the battle. Darknms gonna find it once again. Just overextension on each side. Both teams paying the price for it. This chart's looking crazy, but Pyromancer might throw it even further in Sunbreaker's favor, which is hopefully what they're trying to do at this point. But it's again, Stormbreakers with the tenacity that they've been showing. I am not counting them out whatsoever. Sunbreakers managed to get the Pyro, and we managed to get a nice pause. We'll be right back at the desk. Well, midpoint in the game here. Ztan, let's talk about what's going on. How's the progression feeling? What's the storyline here? How are our friends on Sunbreakers and Stormcallers faring?
Well, in these team fights, Stormbreakers are kind of coming out on the worst end of these team fights.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Stormbreakers or Sunbreakers or Stormcallers? It's confusing. Which one?
Oh no.
You said Stormbreakers. Which one?
Crap. Stormbreakers.
No,
they are the
the
Persephone,
same
right?
thing.
Stormcallers.
Sunbreakers
Callers.
and Stormcallers.
Ha. Rough. I'm gonna blame this on illness.
That's Sunbreakers there. That's Stormcallers over there.
So Stormcallers
You got it.
are kind of coming out on the worst end of the team fights, but
There it
they're
is.
coming out on the better end of the objective fights.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that's due to the fact that Sunbreakers do, by a mile, have the better team fight.
Yes.
However, these objective steals and the kills that they're getting on the back end of them are what's making this game graph. It's not looking like a graph. It's looking like someone gave my daughter a Mountain Dew and turned her loose with like a marker.
Awesome.
You know, there's no graph. It's just absolutely all over the place. So I think Stormcallers are really going to have to play to their strengths here if they want to stay in this.
It's chicken scratchings for sure on the graph. It's like you said, they need to guarantee their assets a little bit more before they go for these riskier plays, because they have the unified vision and they're employing it beautifully. When the Poseidon works, is mwah, chef's kiss, it's magic. But then they get a bit too cocky, as the name goes, and then things start to slip away. And we saw the same thing happen on the reverse side. Stormcallers stuck around a bit too long for that Pyromancer, and they paid the price too. On either side, hubris seems to be the biggest downfall. But that seems like that's all the time we're going to need for the pause here. We're going to be right back in on the game. Game 2, just in a moment. And we're back. Welcome back on, everyone. Just a quick recap here. Sunbreakers, 4 kills up, 11-7, 18 minutes in. And a gold lead ascertained. Once again, hard fought, wrestled from the grasp of Stormcallers, but it will remain at a solid about 2k. And XP says the same story. Ztan, what is Stormcallers' method to get back into this and keep the lead?
Well, you're going to have a tough time doing it through straight up team fighting.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well,
we'll talk about it more just in a moment when we get back to the desk. We got a Chronos here or something, because they're freezing time.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say, you'll have a tough time doing it if the game doesn't go.
It can sometimes be difficult there. But, all right, continue on then, Ztan. In that case, talk to me here. What is the element that Stormcallers need to do?
Stormcallers and Sunbreakers both, they need to play to their strengths. Sunbreakers are at their best when they are team fighting here.
And they're trying to put
Stormcallers are going to have to get some picks.
Yeah.
Because they are not fighting these guys as a 5-man unit. It's just not going to work.
Oh no, this is troublesome. I think we just saw the shell used by Izus, and Virtually is remaining right outside the range of the tower. You just need one lunge to find it, but you're putting yourselves back into range. You could be in trouble. Virtually gonna find the kill though, before Izus could do the same. Don't get tower shot. Jesus, come on, man. Don't run by the pool. Everyone knows that rule.
Vert made me nervous there.
That was scary, but Virtually is going to be able to solidify it. And now Phoenix needs to play zoning duty. There it is. OLKxHardKiller, a bit too old and slow on the draw there. And that means the jungler is going to get out safe.
Yeah, you know, if you're Stormcallers, these picks are definitely not what you want to see.
Nope.
You know, Zeus played that as well as he could. You know, it was a 2-on-1. There was a Poseidon and an Odin there. They both kind of shut you out. But these picks are definitely not what you're wanting to see if you're, you know, going for Stormcallers here. You really want to see the opposite happening. Stormcallers need to be looking for some aggression here. They need to be making these picks.
It's difficult to dictate the terms of the team fight when there's such great counter initiation in the form of the Odin Cage, which can cause a lot of disruption, the Kraken as well. It's going to be difficult. They need to bait out some of these bigger abilities before they start dedicating all their resources. Bait and switch, if you will.
It is, and you know, Stormcallers do kind of have an uphill fight here. And it's going to continue being an uphill fight until you can manage to catch Vert out in bad position and get a pick on this Poseidon.
And Poseidon, in the meantime, is going on to this Fury. But OLKxHardKiller is here to try to deny that as an option. Bull's been placed. Mule's being smacked. Kraken drop down. Sunbreakers will finally grab their own Fury. Might grab a kill to go as well. OLKxHardKiller just around the front line for a bit too long, and now the fight swing completely in their favor. Lunge gonna stomp out the life of Huntor. Snipes in your back, GettinCawky, not feeling too great about his chances at this point. And Hachiman's gonna try to defend this tier 2 with what he's got, but what he's got is not enough. Tier 2 tower gonna be falling momentarily? No, not quite. Here comes the cavalry. The entirety of the solo lane of the jungle. Voltcha's gonna try to do something here, but the whirlpool right before it could actually instill the cripple. Voltcha wisely opts to leap back to safety. Sunbreaker's gonna strip the jungle and likely just retreat on back with what they've gained.
Yeah, you know, Stormcallers have taken every objective, stolen every objective, up until that point. So, like, I understand your mentality on why you stepped up to it, but it needed to be a whole team thing. They just had one or two people, namely Huntor and Hardkiller, kind of trickle in there. And if you're going to make the call to defend that, it's got to be a team call.
And we also saw an unfortunate ult from Voltcha very early in. Sunbreaker's going to grab themselves a Pyromancer as well. Across the map now, they are feeling good about their presence with the objectives. Phoenix could be in a bit of trouble. 4-man pursuit here in the mid lane, but NoboFish is here to say something about that. Rolling Assault, not going to find the crippling arrow, but going to find at least some pressure to put on and rescue your solo laner. Now, easy Zeus. Could be in some trouble here, but Poseidon's not around to give that crippling field either. And it's going to just remain. Sunbreakers are now finally in a lead they can feel good about, that they've retained for longer than 2 minutes.
Absolutely. The only real objective left on the map at this point is the FG. Your carries have 3-4 items on them. You're capable of burning it. That's likely to be the next point of contention here. I'm definitely looking for Sunbreakers to be the aggressor and try to pull this fire. I think that's your best call.
Yeah.
Because you are obviously outperforming in the team fights. So who cares if you can actually get the fire or not? I'm looking for Sunbreakers to position around this fire and force a fight.
This is, again, something that Phoenix is very knowledgeable of, because Heavy Warcry did this in the playoffs. The Fire Giant Dance was the Oathkeepers in Season 2's greatest asset, and it's one of Odin's great boons that you can just keep baiting out relics, bait out those shells, bait out those ultimates. That ultimate on the Odin, the cage is going to come up much faster thanks to the cooldown that you granted. And there it is, right there. Kraken going to be dropped as well, put on some damage, and a shell was also expended on the side of the Terra. That's all you need. 2 ultimates down for the shell. That's going to come up a lot slower and guarantee Sunbreakers a better positioning here as they get around the beacon to try to grab that for themselves as well.
Now, if Stormcallers were looking to fight, this is the time. That was a lot of ults.
Board. Here it goes. Death's Grasp brought down on a Phoenix, and the Kitty's going to bring back as well Darknms. But in the home sweet home, GettinCawky going to find virtually a very solid start for your team. Nobo's trying to put on some basics into GettinCawky in return. Aegis going to deny a lot of that damage, though. Aegis being brought back on a NoboFish, as I like that idea as well. Phoenix rooted down in the midst of 4. That might be the next target. Tries to lunge away, but you don't have NoboFish's basics doing enough to save you this time. Phoenix gonna fall. It's 2 down on the side of Sunbreakers, and the beacon will go to the Stormcallers.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that I super liked that Sunbreakers engagement in the first place. You dropped 3 ults for a shell. Now, if Stormcallers decide to not re-engage there, it was a win.
Yes.
But Stormcallers wisely decided to re-engage because they realized, hey, there's no
in the short term, we win this.
There's no Kraken, there's no Athena ult. We win this. And they went for it. They got it. Now, Sunbreakers maybe sniffing around the fire.
At this point, you gotta wait for Phoenix to rejoin you have to imagine. The ultimates are all back online, must be said, but likely by the time they all rejoin, it'll be the same story for the Stormcallers. Still a lead in favor of the Sunbreakers, but once again, we're seeing it dip back down. Dracull trying to engage onto Voltcha here, but gonna leap away to safety. Fury's being dropped as well, and they don't want to mess with this. They have this secured virtually. It's going to easily, all it takes is a whirlpool to just knock them off it.
Now we do have the Boomba's hammer getting built up on the Poseidon, and I mean I really like it. I really like it. That hammer passive, you know, Poseidon does excellent auto attack damage anyway, and we've got to fight.
You might need that auto attack damage. You need to assist your team. You're on the wrong side of the wall, my friend, but Voltcha's in the wrong side of the cage. Quacking gonna be used, but not for very much effect. Voltcha's in trouble, taunted back in the midst of the basics of NoboFish. And this could be troublesome. Ardio gonna get a big stun, but not big damage. In fact, it's looking to be put onto your head. Just a few more basics will do the trick. Death's Grasp gonna lock down Phoenix for the kill, thanks to GettinCawky. But now gonna have to use your ultimate and get the 180 trick shot off to ensure your own safety. 4 to 4, very low are each of the supports, and the Titan battle is going to go the way of the Sunbreakers because it's so far pushed up.
Yeah, that fight was kind of all over the place, and it could have went almost either way at any given time. You know, you had it spread up at like 3 different points on the lane at one point.
Yeah.
And for all of that to only come away with 1 death.
Ooh. Hold on, that was a brilliant disengage, a bait and switch, if you will. Once again, GettinCawky, going to get a bit too cocky for your own good, waiting with the dragon shots, and Sunbreaker's going to find the Primal Fury, as well as some solid pressure onto the carry. Fantastic job with awareness that he's just going to try to stand here to steal it, and Dracull was not about to let that happen. Dashed up, taunted, and put on the damage with the quickness.
Yeah, no, that's what you do with Athena.
That's what you do.
You know, that Athena taunt is on a relatively short cooldown. You know, Athena's got 30% CDR on top of that. Run in, grab them, and keep running in and grabbing them. That's more the point. Athena is a great engage support, as we've just seen. You are not safe standing within 90 units of an Athena.
Big facts, and they're going to have to find that out the hard way. Phoenix with an aggressive leap, caging in 2. Do they have the shells to match it? They got it, but it's a bit late at this point. HardKiller's super low, but NoboFish brought down to lower. It's a support for carry trade, not one that Sunbreakers are very happy with, you have to imagine. Zeus just going to dash their way to safety. That is not a good trade if you are on the Sunbreakers side, but they're looking to continue the engagement. Dracull is pretty low after all. Zeus going to have the crippling field, just try to walk down the Athena. But you have to be careful. Overextended, you'll be taunted in the midst of this Kraken Poseidon, and that is a big issue. Pyromancer might be the next target here. Stormcallers retreating 4-man deep. Zeus, once again, doing what we saw game 1. Just taking it all the way to the front line. And now that calls for the reinitiation. Dracull gonna fall. There's too much poke residually from the last fight. And that allows a big gap to take down virtually. Death's Grasp gonna lock down Phoenix again. Action replay for you. Huntor with the double kill. Sole survivor is the Baba Yaga.
Yeah. Great fight from Stormcallers. Man, you know, the huge strength of this Sunbreakers draft is that initial engagement, that team fight capability. Stormcallers baited it. They got the Odin cage out.
They need to bait those abilities.
They got that Odin cage out, and all of a sudden they're able to fight.
But will they be able to secure is the question. Stormcallers grab the FG, actually an EFG. 5 seconds pass. Darknms gonna find a kill off the return though. Blast off, he says. The Death's Grasp not gonna be able to quite find Dark's back. And that's gonna ensure their safety. Solid job taking the Fire Giant buff off of Voltcha. And also just kind of a stinging blow as they retreat back to safety. But nonetheless, the story is the same. That
before this Pyro goes down,
the EFG.
There is a 300 gold difference. At 30
These guys
minutes.
are crazy, man. This back and forth action has been going this way the entirety of the game, far more so than game 1. And it's just a fact that I feel like Sunbreakers, like you said, once they lose their initial punch, it's all whimper. They don't have much once the Kraken and Cage are dropped.
Yeah, you know, you have the Athena ult for, you know, some of that escape capability, the extra mitigations. But it's not a big team fight ult. It's more useful to kind of keep somebody alive that you aren't near. Once that Kraken and the cage go down, I mean, you got home sweet home, but that's not super massive. And, the Rom ult's a great secure, but it's not a huge team fight thing. Once those go down, Stormcallers go to the driver's seat.
Yeah, and Stormcallers have been doing so effectively. We were talking about earlier how it just seems like Sunbreakers had their number in every team fight. But my question to you is, what is the case here for Stormcallers? What is their rising star, per se? Is it GettinCawky once again, despite the fact that we're no longer piloting the Rama? Has the Hachi with the Freaky Friday switch up been successful?
I really think Voltcha and Zeus are doing a great job of diving here. I think, me personally, for me, that's your big tail of the tape here. Voltcha and Zeus are getting in, and they're trusting their teammates. That's the big thing here. They're trusting.
This could be troublesome. Trust the fact that Sunbreakers need to defend this Phoenix if they want a chance in this battle. Gonna be dropping a lot of damage onto it though. Left side Phoenix just needs one more shot to go down and one more shot to get the snipes off. Virtually gonna find the kill onto GettinCawky, but drops soon afterwards. Very low is OLKxHardKiller, but with the snipes down, no real means to get to him at this point. It's gonna be safety, a 1-for-1 trade as well as the bird. And that's one that Stormcallers are happy to make.
I was talking about trust, and right there again it is. Bastet, Artio, absolutely fly past that Phoenix into the entirety of Sunbreaker's team, trusting that their team behind them is gonna clutch that, is gonna win that fight. Yeah. And it's obviously it's what your solo and jungle should be doing in any game. But in this game, where you have so many bad counter matchups, that takes a huge level of trust, because you're starting it at a disadvantage.
Yeah, and even though their team captain, Chiron, is not currently present on the Stormcallers, I know that's something that, again, I was talking about with you before the game even started. Actually, no, even on the desk, that he is building up a team, of killers. They all are on the revenge mindset. Everyone doubted us. Let's show them. And that synergy, that chemistry, it's coming to fruition. Love to see it week 1 when you don't even expect that kind of stuff.
No, Stormcallers right now, they're not playing like a week 1 team. These guys already have some trust in each other, some synergy, and it's showing. It's showing a lot in these fights.
Oh, that was a fantastic pull. Gonna force the beads off of Darknms. That could be troublesome. That's the call for them to initiate. But Zeus might have taken that call a bit too seriously. Death's Grasp as well as the cage going to be expended. A lot of big ultimates online, or offline at this point now. But it's 2 down on the side of Stormcallers, 1 down on the side of Sunbreakers. No one will quite die for it just yet.
Great call on them to back off there. Fire's coming up. And you've got the left Phoenix down.
Mm-hmm.
And, at that point, try and take the mid tower. It's great if you get it, but we don't need it. We don't need that mid tower right now. What we need is this extra gold and that EFG.
And that's exactly where their intentions lie. Izu's once again on the front lines, but once again taking a bit too much poke for my liking. Run your way back to safety there, my friend. Pyromancer gonna go away to Stormcallers. And that could be troublesome when it comes to the Fire Giant dance that is upcoming. 2 bombs in the pocket of these members. That's a solid amount of secure to counter and rival the Kraken.
I would argue that Zeus took exactly the amount of poke that he needed to take, because not
Fair
a
enough.
single member of Sunbreakers was able to push up and contest.
That is respectful. You know what? I will retract my statement. Excellent job. No, Zeus has no fear when it comes to putting their life down on the line for the safety and well-being of the team. And I really appreciate that. I just want to make sure that the man's staying safe. You're going to need it for this fight. Voltcha dropped down to half already. Cage back down as well. This could be trouble. Death's Grasp been expended. You only have a few pivotal ultimates on the side of Stormcallers to expend. Artio's looking very poked out. So is Voltcha. The initiating squad is maybe getting initiated on a bit too hard there. Sunbreakers looking healthy with the exception of Dracull, who can very easily rejoin the fight thanks to the ultimate. What will they do from this point on is the question.
Stormcallers are in a tough spot here. They need to back off, but the last thing they need is for Sunbreakers to get this EFG.
They don't even seem to be looking for it, though. They're looking for GettinCawky. Do they have the tools and resources necessary to do so? His ultimate's offline, the Kraken's online, and he's down. GettinCawky dropped by Virtually. Voltcha trying to initiate, make something happen alongside the Artio, but the Animal Squad, this could be troublesome. You need to back on out. The Wonder Pets aren't going to be doing the job this time. In the midst of 3, gonna get off a little stun for yourself. Here's the Death's Grasp, locking down Dracull into place, as well as Darknms alongside the rest of the front line. Could be troublesome. Dracull diving in to try to save NoboFish. Not going to be successful. Dual lane going to drop in just a moment. The cage was down, but what for? The Home Sweet Home did very little, blasting off to just find some safety. Get yourself to a different planet that doesn't have all these aggressive forces trying to run you down. Shells expended to guarantee the lives of all the Stormcallers, and it seems that it might just be the 3 trade they want. But Darknms, with the health and the Prophetic Cloak, buying some decent amount of time, finally brought down by the Kitty Cat. A triple there, or killing spree there for Voltcha, and 3 down overall for the Sunbreakers. Fantastic fight for Storm.
Absolutely, and, you know, may I add, the level of tanky that Baba Yaga was almost hard to watch. 3 members of Stormcallers wailing on this Baba Yaga.
Yeah, poor woman.
For 20 seconds. Before she finally goes down. I mean, that prophetic, it does so much. And she gets mitigations out of her 3 already.
Oh no.
Oh,
Virtually can't be walking up like this. It's at way too much health for you to even consider contesting. Consider the fountain, why don't you? GettinCawky, gonna take down Virtually for 60 seconds off the map. Stormcallers have once again swung the gold into their favor. A story they're familiar with. They love being the underdogs. And the Death's Grasp and the Kitty Cat gonna do some solid damage to you. Phoenix gonna drop the cage, but there's no backup to do much to the bear inside of it. Stormcallers gonna grab themselves the EFG. What else can we make of it? Dracull brought down in the midst of 5. Gonna be going down any moment, thanks to Voltcha. Solid kill for your name. 2 down, and Virtually's not up for another 30 seconds. Stormcallers have a lot of room to get stuff done.
This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. You know, obviously the Stormcallers team comp isn't the best team fight. You need to pick Vert. And that's exactly what they did.
It's fantastic targeting. Next one's going to be the mid-Phoenix. Phoenix, speaking of, in the midst of 5. Going to be brought down to low, but the Raven Shout guarantees you a bit of safety. Fire minions in here on the left side, though. It's just, at this point, a complete defense game for Sunbreakers. Not one that they're going to enjoy making, especially, again, after how game 1 went. It's just got to feel frustrating to have so many swing points happen for you when everything seemed to be all right.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we've talked about it before. Like, it's week 1. You know, not every team has their synergy on lockdown. Not every team has their plan on lockdown yet. And, you know, the mistakes that we're seeing aren't massive gaping mistakes. They are short lapses in judgment, like Vert's positioning there. He won't do that again.
I hope
you know,
not.
like that was a short-term judgment mistake, and it's okay. You know, Sunbreakers have they're gonna have an uphill fight here, you know, with 2 Phoenixes down. But you know, win, lose, whatever, a lot of the stuff that's going on in this game, you have a great opportunity to improve this stuff because there's so much good going on. This team composition, for one.
From the outset.
Whoever dreamed up this team comp,
Genius. Genuinely.
It's huge. The team fight capability is just absurd. Stormcallers are just doing a better job right now of kind of baiting out some of these huge abilities.
Yeah, it is kind of the baiting game for both sides, right? You're looking to bait out the huge relics out of the Stormcallers, and the Stormcallers are looking to bait out the huge abilities out of the Sunbreakers. And so far, it's been certainly in favor of Stormcallers. Hopefully, Sunbreakers can reverse some of that pressure here when it comes to this next team fight. But they also have to pay attention to the left side Phoenix coming up. Do we decide to sacrifice Virtually to be put on cleanup duty to ensure that Burrs stays standing? Or do we just invoke all of our resources here for the right side? Only time will
At
tell.
this point here, your best option is to hope for a wipe.
And they're going to look for it right there. Kitty dropped down, but Voltcha dropped in immensely low health. Bees and Aegis expended. Home sweet home, as well as the snipes dropped onto your head. A good shell to provide a bit more tankiness, as well as the Earth and Fury. Voltcha standing strong. Virtually can't say the same. Going to be taken out by GettinCawky. Fantastic work there. Baited into the midst of the Titan. Could be in trouble. There's Dracull. One more hit will do it. Going to be made it to the fountain. Phoenix is now posing as the frontliner, but might be dropping down to the heavenly banner. Gonna send you to heaven? Not quite. The front line stands strong on the Sunbreakers. Titan is trying to sweep up some minions. NoboFish gonna sweep up a nice kill onto Voltcha. Stormcallers looking awfully low. They need to be careful. That Terra heal is not gonna be enough to mend the divots that NoboFish's basics will put into you.
No, you know, you got maybe a minute 20, a minute 30 before fire is going to be spawning back up. You got a Primal Fury up. All the Phoenixes are down. You're in as strong of a spot as you could wish for.
Yep.
No reason to gamble with throwing your lives away trying to take that Titan when you can back, reset, get the other EFG, and do it anyway.
It's some smart play. So we're seeing a lot of good restraint. I feel like we have seen moments of overextension, but in the macro, when it comes to the grand scheme of playing here, both Stormcallers and Sunbreakers do understand and have good enough game awareness to know when the fight should be left to the wayside. So, must be giving credit to Stormcallers there for understanding we shouldn't be too bloodthirsty quite yet. But what's Sunbreakers' play here when it comes to, obviously, you need to be turtling a little bit as this mid lane Phoenix comes up, but how do we play this fight differently to make it not just a draw, but a victory?
This is difficult. This is very much a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of scenario. Two Phoenixes are down. So to defend the CFG, you're going to give up some pretty serious lane pressure moving into the Titan room.
Yeah.
And if you get picked while trying to make the defense, the game's over.
Yeah.
However, if you don't defend it at all, you pretty much just have to pray that you can wipe them when they run down with that EFG, and the game may be over anyway. It's a very catch-22, just kind of crap scenario.
You at least Nobo moving up, who has the snipes, so maybe that could get it, but they're starting it up already, and it's going to drop low, and it's going to drop for Stormcallers. EFG unopposed. This is looking scary.
Yeah, you know, Vert's in left, and he's pushing that wave up. So good move there, but he needs to back right now.
They're coming 5-man strong. All EFG'd up. Belt's looking very shiny, very blinged out. Virtually finally recognizing the call, but it might be a bit too late. They've already made their way in. Cage is down. Phoenix going to make their way on out of it themselves, and the Phoenix will fall as well. Midbird down, Earth and Fury, Death's Grasp, NoboFish under pressure, virtually under a bit more. Drop there by Huntor for the killing spree on the Persephone. Dracull and Phoenix trying to ward off OLKxHardKiller, but he will not be abated, not be denied his kill onto NoboFish. The damage core of Sunbreakers has been decimated, and Stormcallers are moving in to try to finish this one off. Knocking at the Titan once again, they will secure it. It's a 2-0 set for Divine Stormcallers. One more drop into the bucket. One more drop of rain onto the lovely logo of the Stormcallers, man. That thing looks beautiful. But, Ztan, let's talk about that game, man. What happened?
Stormcallers played better.
Yeah.
Stormcallers played better. There is no way around it. You know, you look at those comps on paper, and Stormcallers lose. Counter matchups left and right.
Yeah.
Stormcallers just played better as a unit. They made great decisions. You know, Sunbreakers, they had plenty of good points. You know, we kind of hit on this at like the last kind of phase of that game. There's a lot of good there. They did a lot of things very well. They just made some micro mistakes here and there that turned into large mistakes.
I think
so
it like speaks to that.
Yeah,
The fact
you know,
that like
some scrims, some
Mhm.
practices, get you some VOD reviews in. This is a hell of a game to VOD review.
Yes,
Uh, you know,
a lot of notes.
yeah, take you some notes, make some changes. Going into week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they're going to be fine. I still have full confidence in the Sunbreakers roster. They were my pick for this division, and I'm not ready to change that yet. I think the boys just need a tune-up.
Fair enough. I mean, I myself, despite not putting on the list, even though I meant to, Chiron, even though I meant to, I'm feeling pretty good about my pick with Divine Stormcallers. But do want to say, I think there's an interesting dichotomy between in the beginning of game 2. We talked about how a lot of this pressure was on the change up from the Loki to the Poseidon. And we saw it, 12 kills. The grand majority of them, in fact, on Virtual Lee's shoulders. Whereas like we didn't really get to give too much individual credit to the members of Stormcallers because, and that's not a fault on any of them, it's because, like you said, such a cohesive puzzle that they built there. You really just had to give credit to all of them as a complete unit because they worked together in tandem to get this W. Whereas it was a bit more pressure, a bit too much even perhaps, that the straw that broke the camel's back, you might say, on Phoenix and Virtually shoulders. It was, and once that fell out of their hands, once they couldn't decide the tempo of battle, it was just not in their hands it wasn't in the cards for them to get the W.
Spectacular set from Stormcallers.
Really fun to watch, certainly. And I'm looking forward to seeing what both of these teams bring in the future. I've been Deelo for this one, though. This has been Ztan as well. We had our friend Nublet up here doing all the production stuff, buying us this lovely desk. Thank you very much for that. And we'll be back with more Smite Draft League content on the YouTube and the Twitch. Make sure to check it all out. We'll catch you all later. Have a good one, everyone.